Hello everyone, this is Matt the Speedstar, aka the Gaming Rebel here, ready to run through the next part of Metroid Other M Redemption. So, I kept that intro in because of the additional fact that it would have been the exact same intro had I not come here and shown off that the mystery creature had, well, split its back open, as you can see right here. I also got a missile tank as well. I have 45 missiles. I think I'm pretty good. And now we're going to do the thing that we're actually supposed to do. Now, had I moved forward with this room, I actually would have been locked in and would not be able to progress until I had completed what was up ahead. And it takes a little bit of time to go through that, so I had to save it for this part. See? We're now locked in the geothermal power plant. No way of getting out, except to move forward. You guys know what's coming up. And I've actually braced myself for this. Not only just braced myself, but I actually did the digging around that I needed to so I could properly explain what's going to be coming up. But before we do, there's two items we can get. One is the final energy tank of the game. Because as you see, we have 6 energy tanks now. If I go to my status, we have 7 energy parts. Next one will be number 8, and that will get us another energy tank. But we now have the last energy tank, like actual energy tank, in the game. The rest are from energy parts. But if you quickly use your grapple beam and come over here, you'll be able to get an Excel charge. This is the last one we are able to get before post-game, when we are able to use power bombs and get all our remaining items. Because I believe it's behind one particular power bomb obstacle. I don't say door for a reason, but actually they kind of are doors. Yeah, they are doors after I deal with the thing with the power bomb. But yeah, behind a power bomb door, there is an Excel charge. In fact, 4 of the energy parts that we can get are behind power bomb doors as well, so we can't get all the items until we get our power bombs. Alright, here we go.
Get out the way! Man, can't see a thing in here. We gotta clear out. Where's the exit at?
Now it's purposely dark in here, but thankfully I got my brightness up just enough you guys can see. And so can I. Right there. Never mind.
Duck. This ain't good. Well, only one thing to do, huh? Let's tear this thing up.
Wait, Anthony. Leave this one to me. Don't waste your plasma.
Alright. Ow! And that's what I was trying to avoid. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. Oh man, I hate this one because I have to look for this. Oh, never mind. Found it.
Use your super missiles.
Usually it takes me a good minute and a half to find that thing, but I got lucky there. Alright, we got our super missiles. Ups missile damage. Usually that means you do triple the missile damage, but use 5 missiles per shot. Now, before I go to the actual screen, I just want to quickly say something about the super missiles that I really like. The super missiles will use the charge mechanic that you have up there, so like with your charge beam, it uses the exact same charge meter. Because of this, you can actually exploit your super missiles by charging up a charge beam, going into search view, and as soon as you lock onto something, you will have a super missile ready to go. It makes it really good to use these, because this is one of, if not, your most powerful projectile in the game. And I just love that. It minimizes the time you need to be in search view, and also minimizes the time that you're most vulnerable. Again, I just love that. I love that little exploit. I don't even know if it's intentional or not. If it's not, whatever. If it is, great. Alright. Lock on. And here we go. Prepare for this.
Samus, do you copy? Samus! Samus, use your plasma beam! What's your status?
It can't be!
Samus, do you read me?
You a lesson about silence. Come on!
Anthony! Don't do
Got our plasma beam. Let's take him down. So we finally got to this. Ridley. Back from the grave. Ready to torment Samus once again. And if anything, the best Ridley music in the entire franchise. I don't care what anyone else says. This is the best. Anyone who says otherwise can suck it. Ah! You can suck that. Alright. We got our plasma beam. We got our super missiles. We got him to taste the rainbow. Please tell me I avoided that. Yes. And oh man, if anything, this is my favorite Ridley fight in the entire franchise, of course. Because it's like... Give me a sec. It's like the other Ridley fights in the 2D games. No weak points or anything. No, I don't count that as like a weak point. I consider the super missile thing there when he goes pseudo-meta. That's kind of what I'm calling it. When he goes pseudo-meta, the super missile is a way to counter that. Otherwise, you just have to wait it out. The only thing you need is your plasma beam, and all you need to do is just shoot him. Or you can do that too. You can do that too to stun Ridley. Again though, I love this fight.
I wondered if Anthony was conscious as he hit bottom. Unbearable thoughts welled up in me, making me want to get as far away as I could. I regretted not being able to protect him. And I regretted thinking, even for a moment, that he would betray me or fail to come to my aid at the expense of his own safety.
And there we go. All that's left to do now is leave. But unfortunately, as of now, Anthony Higgs is considered deceased, overcome by Ridley while trying to rescue Samus. And now, before I get into the explanation that I'm going to really struggle to go through because, like I said, I'm bad explaining stuff, but I really have to talk about this because it is about the cutscene before you actually fight Ridley. But first off, I'm going to go into the story just to kind of let it help me explain things. But I do have one more piece of evidence that will help me back up what I'll be trying to talk about. When Samus arrives at the geothermal power plant, she comes face to face with her arch-nemesis, Ridley. Anthony attempts to protect the panic-stricken Samus from Ridley and falls into the depths of the lava that fuels the power plant. Samus's anger returns her to her senses. She attacks Ridley with wild shots from her plasma beam, but he manages to narrowly escape. Make note of what it says there. Samus's anger. Not just her anger, her determination to protect Anthony, to return the favor, is what snapped her back to her senses. But this is not the only time that this has happened. Not in game, though. The first time this actually happened, and I have the actual thing for it. I actually had to go read it real quick just so I could remember anything. Is Volume 2 of the quote-unquote official Metroid manga, which Yoshio Sakamoto also had a big hand in. In that, when Samus first meets Ridley after what happened on K2L, I forgot to charge up. Anyway, now we have super missiles, we can finally break these open and do things. We can now get a lot more items. And I'm gonna try and explain this stuff as I'm heading through here. There's an item down here, that's why I'm doing this! Stupid Nova. So anyway, when Samus meets Ridley after the first time back on K2L when she was younger, when Samus meets Ridley, she has a panic attack. And it's actually a lot worse than what this one was. In fact, it got so bad in the manga to the point where her fear actually overcame her and made her just... She was so possessed by her fear and just... Give me a sec. Because of all the trauma she had to endure when she was younger, because of what Ridley did to her home and her family, all that came back as soon as Samus saw Ridley alive and well. She just lost... She lost it. She was even begging to be killed because she thought she was just... She had entirely lost it, pretty much, and it took the entire Chozo race that was still alive, save for one, to help her regain her senses back then. So, this is not as bad as what people make this out to be. In fact, it's natural. There is something I could go get, but I'm not going to get it because I will be coming back at some point. There's still a few things I'm missing.
Something was gnawing at me. Communication with Adam had ceased. From the Deleter's point of view, Adam would represent the largest threat. Without question, his life had to be in danger. But it was Adam Malkovich. He wouldn't go down easily. And Adam would already know about the Deleter, so there's no way he would let his guard down. If that was the case, then why couldn't I reach him? What did he think of the unfolding situation, and what was he planning to do next? My racing thoughts started to frustrate me.
And as we step out... Hello? What have we here? This might just be the Deleter. Because... Here, let me go back to the characters. So far, we only have James Pierce and Keiji Mizawa. But of course, I already explained the whole thing about Keiji, so... Yeah, James is actually... I know I'm spoiling something here, but James is actually considered to be the Deleter. Because of, well, for one thing, where you find him, and two, the fact that you never find Keiji at all. And I did talk about this.
This elevator is bound for Sector 1.
Sorry if I'm, like, a little distracted and all that. I'm just trying to remember the whole thing of what I was trying to talk about. But anyway, as I was saying, the whole thing with Samus freaking out over Ridley, it's natural. And what I mean by this is, just think about it. Put yourself in maybe Samus's shoes for just 1 sec, and think about it. You had already killed the one thing that had haunted you for your entire life. In which case was Ridley. You saw his end by your own arm cannon. By your own weaponry. Ah, crap. I talk a little bit, but now we have mighty griptions. These guys will actually damage you if you try to overblast them. But we now have stronger weaponry. We have our plasma beam, so we can combat them. They're still hard to deal with, though. So if you've got the chance, you can use your super missiles. Just like that. Like I said, with the whole thing with the super missiles, if you preemptively use a charge beam, or rather, get one ready, go into search view, and lock on, instant super missile. It's great! And I really love that. Anyway, since we're in here, I can actually get an item now. So I'm going to take a quick detour. Which is going to be avoiding the mighty Gription, heading up here, and using my speed booster to get an item. Here. Let me just get the speed booster thing going, and then I will talk again real quick. So, like I said about the whole thing about Samus freaking out, it's natural. How would you feel if the one thing that was haunting you all your life, that you had finally gotten rid of by your own hands, just suddenly be right in front of you once again? Like what you've done never happened. How would you feel about that? In fact, let's actually make this like a sort of comment question for the video. How would you feel if something from your past that you had finally moved on from or gotten away from, how would you feel if that just suddenly came back and was staring you right in the eyes? How would you feel about that? What would you do? And I mean, like, what you actually would do. Be honest with me on this. What would you do if one of your biggest fears, or the subject of one of your biggest traumas just suddenly showed up right in front of your face after so much time has passed that you thought you'd finally be over it? How would you feel? I would like to see your guys' answers, if you even bother commenting, because I doubt anyone's going to want to comment on this because of what that scene was. But again, I just would really like to create the whole air of understanding with this. That up there would be an energy part. There was an energy part I could have gotten back in Sector 3, and it would have been like barely a trip to... It'd be like barely a trip, if anything. So I could have just went and got it, but again, I will be going back there once I have more of my items. And I don't have all of them yet, so yeah, I'm not going to do the whole backtracking thing just yet. But for right now, I'm pretty good. Okay, so I feel like done enough with explaining the whole scene right there. Oh, one last thing about it. I did say I was like half defending it, but I was mostly defending it. I guess I can say with one thing, maybe it was a little over dramatic, but regardless, it still felt natural, and it still felt like it belongs. I don't care what anyone says. I feel like it belongs, and it really helps with the whole story thing, and helps with Samus. It shows that even she gets scared. Even she has fears. Stuff that can really mess her up. As you saw there, she lost all concentration and couldn't hold on to her tears. And heck, she couldn't even fire at Ridley. Did you see that? If you look closely, when Ridley grabbed Samus, her arm cannon was caught in that too. Her arm that had no weapons on it was the only free arm she had. She couldn't even fire at him. She was helpless. Makes sense that Anthony would be the one to save her. I'm sorry, I'm getting overheated again. But anyway, I just really wanted to talk about it. To express how I felt about it. To just once again say that, to just help with it once again. To help explain stuff that people really criticize this game for. to show that this game doesn't really deserve all the criticism that it gets. And with that, I'll end it here. There's not really any other save data to be had. Not really much else I can do. Well, I could go back and do a couple of things now that I have the super missiles, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to wait till I have all of my other upgrades. And I'm just wasting time now. So next time, we are going to pursue our mysterious person who might or might not be the deleter and see where it goes, because this may just lead us to a very important clue. So, until next time, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you wish to follow along this and my other Let's Plays, please consider subscribing. If any concerns come up, I'll let you guys know my Twitter and additional info in the lower left box in the video and down in the description below. This has been Matt the Speedstar, aka the Game Rebel, and I will see you guys next time when we run through the next part of Metroid Other M.